What's up guys, my name is Nodmportant and welcome to Mobile Review, where I play the App Store games, that way you don't have to. Let's get into it. Today we're going to be reviewing Idle Boxing made by the Unpronounceables. I call them the Unpronounceables because quite frankly I'm too lazy to figure out how to pronounce it. But that being said, let's get into the criteria we're going to be using to judge this game. Our criteria for judging the game is going to be divided into 4 different parts. Number 1, enjoyability. Number 2, ads. Number 3, monetization. And number 4, longevity. Idle Boxing is a fairly standard idle game, with the twist being that you're boxing. Enjoyability is one of, if not the most important criteria on this list. If the game isn't enjoyable, no one's going to want to play it. In that regards, this game holds up rather well. The gameplay is fairly straightforward. You use your left and right fists to hit the opponent. Each time you beat an opponent, you get some money and a bit of experience. You can use the money to upgrade your character's health, the power of their punches, the critical hits, and the amount of critical hits that you get. After you get enough experience, you level up. After you beat a certain amount of opponents, you have an option to fight a boss. If you're able to beat the boss, you're able to improve your stat games, and you get in-game currency. And by in-game currency, I mean stuff that you have to physically buy with real money. I'm going to call those diamonds. I'll get to that later in the video. There are some things you get in addition to the in-game currency, diamonds, and stat gains. That thing being cosmetics. There are 3 different kinds of cosmetics that you can get. One being boxing gloves, the second being a uniform of some sort, the third being a hat. The uniforms and hats can only be unlocked by defeating the bosses. The boxing gloves require a certain amount of in-game currency and diamonds. After you beat a certain amount of bosses, you can go to a new area that increases the amount you get per regular fight. When you reach a certain level in-game, you can prestige. It may reset all your in-game progress, but you'll be able to receive more currency per fight. You also get to keep any and all cosmetic, skills, and trainers that you get. The final aspect of this particular section are the trainers and the skills. The trainers you can unlock with the diamonds, in which you can also use to upgrade each trainer's skills. There's the potential to hire up to 10 trainers, with more potentially being available as you hire more. The skills you can get are available after you fight some bosses. You can get 11 total skills. They can range from setting your fists on fire to having your character be 100% accurate with all their hits. The only real negatives I can think about this game is that it's just not one that I would really enjoy playing for a long period of time. Other than that, it's a fairly enjoyable game. The game, however, doesn't really have anything to make it stand out for games of a similar nature. Overall, for the enjoyability aspect of the game, I would say that it's a 3 out of 5 stars. This section is the one people love to hate. That's right, we're talking about ads. There's nothing more annoying when you're playing a mobile game or you're watching YouTube than getting bombarded with ads for stupid stuff. And that is where this game actually rather stands out in my opinion. While you may be forced to watch ads, the frequency of which they pop up may be every 5 to 10 minutes. And after you watch the ads, you actually get a couple diamonds afterwards. You don't necessarily have to watch through the entirety of the ad to get the diamonds, at least in my experience. So, overall, I would consider this section to actually be a stark improvement over lots of other mobile games that I've played in this same variety. So, overall, I would rate it 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next aspect we're going to be talking about is monetization. And what I mean by that is the game pay to win, or do you just use the diamonds in-game for cosmetic items? First out the gate is that this is not a pay-to-win game in the traditional sense. The only thing you'd really be able to do with the paid currency is that you'd have easier access to upgrading your trainers and getting better gloves at a quicker rate. However, you do still need a certain amount of in-game currency to be able to upgrade your gloves, which does slow your progress down. You can, however, buy the diamonds in-game in packs. They can range anywhere from $1.49 for a pack of 40 to $124.99 for a pack of 4,000. Overall, I would give this section a 4 out of 5 stars simply for the fact that it is not your traditional pay-to-win game. I do, however, have to admit that $125 is a bit steep and is definitely a cash grab. The fourth and final section we're going to be talking about is longevity. As I mentioned before, when I talk about longevity, I mean, would you be able to play the game for long periods of time, or would you delete the app after a day or two after you've downloaded it? I may have mentioned earlier that it's not a game I would personally want to play for long periods of time. However, it doesn't diminish the fact that it's a fairly enjoyable game overall. I mean, it has fairly good gameplay mechanics, it's not overly tedious to be playing, and I never felt like I wasn't able to progress in the game because things were too slow. As I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have a whole lot to make it stand out from other games of a similar nature, but I would say that it is slightly above average. For this section, I would rate this a 3 out of 5 stars. On the Google Play Store, it has 4.5 stars and over 500,000 downloads and has almost 5,000 reviews as of the making of this video. So I'm clearly not the only one who thinks that this is a fairly decent game. Overall, I would give this game a 3-star rating. Nothing particularly stands out other than the ads in my opinion, and that's only because you get diamonds for watching them. Again, this may be my personal bias speaking, but I feel like 3 stars is a fair rating to give this particular game. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. If you like what you saw, leave a like down below, maybe subscribe, and see what comes out next. If you have any recommendations for me, feel free to leave that in the comment section right down below. Now, don't forget guys, you all are awesome, and I will see you in the next video. This is Nodmportant, nodding off.